What's the good word, y'all? DKB here. So we brought in today another wide receiver coach for an interview. This guy's from the Broncos and Zach Azzani, and I'm loving the background and familiarity experience that we see that comes with this guy. And comparing him to Seth Ryan, who we also brought in, I would say Zach Azzani actually has a pretty strong edge on him, and it's just due to timing and him being more involved in football longer than Seth Ryan, but I think either way would be a good fit with both guys, depending on which direction we want to go. Zach Azzani could potentially remain on Sean Payton's staff, which again it would be a great move for him. You guys know I love coaches, especially Brant Boyer, Seth Ryan himself. We'll see if Zach Azzani has the same situation that are able to survive coaching staffs because it lets you know they are clearly capable of manning the position they're in, being able to convince multiple people, oftentimes changing schemes and things like that as well. But let's dive into what Zach Azzani is bringing. So there is a little bit of a challenge that's going on here as well. He did recently meet with the Bills, who are also looking to replace their wide receiver coach, Chad Hall. So there may be a little bit of a three-way battle, at least as of now, between the Broncos, the Jets, the Bills, to see who can get him if there is a preference of us wanting to lean that direction. Um, Now, the calling card for Zach is that he's only ever coached the wide receiver position. Now, he's had some other minute things that have come in, pass game coordinator, assistant head coach at a time, but he specifically has always had his hands in the wide receiver coaching room. He's never went to quarterbacks, tight ends, all of that kind of stuff. So I love the focus and attention there. He would have been able to see over his 23 years of experience, 18 of those being in college, and then the last five coming in the pros. He would be able to see what the developmental gap looks like, the techniques that are needing to be developed, and different things like that. So you can essentially call him an innovator as well if you want. Also a former wide receiver, so we have that player relationship build that's going on. And then he also has kind of the nice little asterisk mark on his career, being with the Broncos, that he has coached one of the youngest wide receiver groups in the NFL back in 2020 when he was looking at a Cortland Sutton and Deshaun Hamilton, Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, all of these awesome guys. And it translates so well to the New York Jets with the young roster that we have. We have Garrett Wilson, we have Elijah Moore, we have Denzel Mims. We could potentially move on from Corey Davis and Braxton Berrios and try to get younger there. So it'll be an interesting situation to see how that plays out. But the name that sticks out was definitely Tim Patrick for me, undrafted free agent. We see him rise to the ranks of at least being a household name with the Broncos, and for people that pay attention to the wide receiver position, they may be a little bit more familiar with him. So I love that. It's a lot of highlights that he's bringing. Again, 23 years, 18 of those going in college, and he's been all over the place. Bowling Green, Valparaiso University, Central Michigan University, University of Florida, Western Kentucky University, University of Tennessee, and then of course he gets to the pros. He spends 1 year with the Bears. The last five have been with the Broncos. So I'm loving it. Everything that I see on paper here, even when I went back and took a look at some of the wide receivers that he's worked with on his way up, there aren't a lot of household names. Shouldn't be much of a shocker. You guys just heard the list of universities he's been able to work with. So no disrespect to them, but we're not talking, top tier Alabama, Clemson type schools that are going on here. We have to keep in mind the recruiting and different things like that. But the list of names is still fairly impressive. Antonio Brown's the most notable. Um, but he's also been able to kind of have a hand in developing Deontay Thompson, Josh Malone, and Jawan Jennings to kind of get these guys into the league as well. There's a handful of other names, but they haven't really been able to do a whole lot in the league just yet. So just a few names there for you guys. But I think this would be a huge move. I would personally probably go Zach Azzani now just with the comparison. But again, this is based purely on experience. I think Seth Ryan and that coaching staff and program he's coming from, I think he could offer a lot to our coaching staff, and it'd be a great mix between some of the veterans that we have brought in and still having that young, fresh talent. Keep in mind, Seth Ryan, I think, is only 28 or 29. But experience is usually king. I'm going with Zach Azzanni, guys. Excuse me, Jesus. Either way, I really hope we can bring him in. We'll see how this plays out. Again, he could choose to want to remain with the Broncos if Sean Payton will have him. If not, then hopefully we win the rights to him over the Buffalo Bills if we choose to extend an offer. So hopefully today went really well, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Hopefully we can bring in Zach Azzani, wide receivers coach from the Broncos, to help round out the final. I think it's only this position and that senior assistant position left with the hiring of Todd Downing. So we'll see. But either way, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I'll catch you again. Peace.